So I'm recording this latest video as it's Mental Health Awareness Week in the UK in the middle of May 2024. And whilst it's great that there is so much awareness and focus on people's mental health, what to look out for, taking good care of people, and the understanding that's required for people with mental health concerns and conditions, I don't feel there's enough awareness about how we can feed and fuel our brain to really help the brain have all the nutrients it needs to keep it calm and happy and in balance. Because the nutritional side of things is so important when it comes to our mental health, to our mood, to depression, and far more beyond that as well. So I thought I'd give an up-to-date view when I'm working with clients, indeed, the sorts of things I focus on and what you can do from your diet, nutritional point of view to really support having a good brain and a great mental health. So, first of all, I want to focus on fats, particularly the essential fats. Now, there's a great awareness around omega-3, but the fats that people don't usually talk about have abbreviated names known as EPA and DHA. Now, your brain is made up about 60–70% of these fats, EPA and DHA fats. Now, they come from omega-3, but if you're buying a supplement with omega-3, what you may not know is the conversion of omega-3 to EPA and DHA fats is roughly about 10%. The conversion is very, very poor, and you need certain cofactors to make it happen. Now, we can get EPA and DHA fats that are responsible for the structure and functioning of the brain throughout life from oily fish. That's your salmon, mackerel, sardines, a little bit of trout, the occasional bit of fresh tuna, not tinned tuna, but do be aware with fresh tuna and even tinned tuna with regards to mercury. Not a good idea to have it very often. Now, oily fish, you should consume a good 3 portions a week. Many people don't like it, don't consume nearly enough. You may be vegan and vegetarian, and then you're going to struggle. If that is the case, and indeed for myself as well, even though I like oily fish, my husband doesn't. Therefore, I find I take a supplement. And I'm looking for a supplement with high strength EPA, DHA, produced from a source of fish oils that have been checked for contamination and pollutants like heavy metals and PCBs. And I'm looking for around 750 to about 1,000 milligrams of these EPA, DHA fats combined. If you're vegan and vegetarian, you need to be looking for algae-based sources, and often your intake might need to be a bit higher to get that sort of level. Number one, that's really high up on my list. Second on my list is protein. Now we think of protein about the structure of our tissues and cells and our collagen production. But what you may not be aware of when we think about protein is that certain proteins break down to amino acids called tryptophan, and tryptophan is further converted down and can help in the production, is needed in the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin. Serotonin is known as our happy chemical, this happy neurotransmitter. Indeed, if you're on antidepressants, which are serotonin selective reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, they are trying to keep serotonin circulating in the brain. But what about making sure you get ample and sufficient serotonin through your protein sources? Now, tryptophan is found predominantly in things like fish, turkey, eggs, nuts and seeds and dairy. We don't just want to focus on those protein sources, but that's where you're predominantly going to get it. And I find people don't get nearly enough protein intake in their diet. Make sure you're getting enough protein. The third thing on my list is magnesium. Now, magnesium is known as nature's tranquilizer because we know it has a very, very calming effect on the body. It's not going to make you drowsy, it's going to keep you calm and this feeling of in control. But above and beyond that, it's used in over 300 enzyme processes in the body, one of which is required in the production and the conversion of this tryptophan to serotonin. Yet another reason for needing magnesium. There is also another need to get magnesium, and that is in the production of melatonin. Melatonin is needed in the evening to help us get a good night's sleep. Now, many of us don't get to sleep very easily, so I often recommend magnesium at nighttime as a supplement to help people get a better night's sleep, to help them get off to sleep if you struggle to get to sleep. Before thinking about a supplement, do make sure you're getting those magnesium-rich foods, dark green leafy vegetables like your cabbage, your kale, included in your cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, probably parsley as well. Also brown rice in the husk is where we find the magnesium content, nuts and seeds too. But really generally these days, people just find they don't get enough magnesium. It's used up in huge quantities in the stress response, and we're finding we're leading quite stressful lives. And I do like to supplement magnesium, typically in a citrate format, to up the availability of magnesium in the body. The fourth thing on my list is zinc, because zinc deficiency has been found in studies to be a contributory factor to depression. Again, even more so probably than magnesium. Zinc intake is very, very low for people. The main source of zinc for people is, really high intake would be oysters. We don't tend to eat oysters. You need to eat more shellfish. You find it in pumpkin seeds. You find it really good in muscle meats. That's why I'd often recommend eating more chicken thighs than in chicken breast. That darker meat is going to have a higher concentration of zinc. You'll find it in some dairy, nuts and seeds generally, shellfish and other fish generally. But I do find, again, that zinc tends to be quite low for people. So maybe if you're taking a very good quality multivitamin and mineral, making sure there is enough zinc, typically 15 milligrams per day is the zinc intake that you will need. Over and above that, I would think about your gut health, but there's not scope here to talk about gut health generally. But to feed your good bacteria, we know about the gut-brain link, then we do need to make sure we're really trying to consume enough different types of fiber and vegetables, and diversity of vegetables and color, and different types of fiber, whether it's from brown rice and nuts and seeds, to really help support feeding and fueling your gut bacteria. Above that, we're thinking about pomegranates and berries. But it's really beyond the scope here to go into a whole topic around gut health. But we do know about the gut-brain link, and we do need to keep feeding those good bacteria. So I think that's enough information for you to take away. I hope you found that helpful. Do go away and look at those dietary sources that I've just talked about. And if you do think you are lacking in any of those, think about a good quality vitamin and mineral. Although with magnesium, you will need to supplement additionally. You won't get enough in a multi. And the same with your oily fish, you would have to get that. If it was an oily fish supplement, to get your EPA, DHA, or indeed an algae-based supplement to get sufficient intake. I don't always want to go over and above thinking about supplements, but sometimes there is a need. So if you do feel your mood can get a little bit on the low side, then it may be beneficial for you to look at your dietary intake and think about where there may be those gaps to really try and provide that additional support. So thank you for watching, and take care. Do watch all the rest of my videos here in my YouTube channel. Please subscribe so you get notified of all new releases as well. Thanks so much for watching, and do leave comments as well.